The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Cowboys! This is Mick Shots. Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
No.
God, this is three times, man. Did they change? Did they change?
No, they never do.
Okay, there you go.
And the thing's called a think pad.
I don't know why it doesn't work for you.
I don't know, man.
We are
It's me. It's
stampeding
totally me.
into the final weekend of 2023, and something's never changed. Everson still can't get logged in to the ThinkPad here inside
I got
the
my phone.
SWBC
Forget that crap,
podcast
man.
studio. That's why you see him on his phone the entire time during the show.
Oh, man.
It's because he can't log into his ThinkPad.
Because I can't think.
It is the eve of a Saturday night showdown at AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. Jimmy Johnson goes into the Ring of Honor. The prelude to that, Mickey's Missouri Tigers tonight take down the Ohio State Buckeyes.
I never said that.
Come on, man.
right.
Let's stir the pot, baby.
Right?
Let's stir
And
the
here we
pot.
go. It's time for another edition of Mick Shots. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Everybody's good.
Great.
Everybody's
See,
good.
This is my think pad right here. I just write
Your
it
notes?
down. I don't have
There
to
you go.
sign in.
Right, just write it.
And no one can read it either, by the way.
Right? And you've got new attire, new Missouri attire.
Yeah, I think this is the last one.
Okay.
Good
Thank
thing.
God.
Oh, come on.
And you don't.
That's
you're not,
That's the oldest one too, I believe.
Yes, it is,
Yeah,
as a matter of
that's what I
fact.
thought.
Yeah.
What year is that?
But it's got the new logo on
You
it.
got anything
you go.
from
Cool.
your playing days at Missouri?
I've got a hat.
You do?
The hat used to have just a big M on it. And then they decided, well, there's too many schools that start with an M. We got to do a little better than that. So that was old school M.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. Good luck to your team tonight.
They'll need it
How'd OUD last night? I did not watch the game.
They did very well. Yes.
until the last 5 minutes.
It was about the last quarter. I like our quarterback, despite the 3 interceptions
Dang.
and the 6 turnovers. but-
Jeez.
Did you notice?
And you like him?
Oh,
I do.
He's slinging the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah, he sure sounds
he
like
is. He is throwing with boldness, and I love his delivery, and he'll learn all.
I
of
love
that
your
stuff.
words, Bill. I love your words.
No,
You are
seriously.
No,
He's
serious.
throwing what?
No. You should see the ball spin.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it if I'm a DB as well.
No.
Yeah, and
He threw 3
that'll
picks.
come. That'll come.
One was
that'll
a-
be the test is
one
if
was a
he
drop
figures out
pass.
what the safety's doing.
Yeah.
So when he's young, he throws with boldness. When he's a veteran, then he just
No,
he's just a turnover
he
machine.
sees the field.
You know,
Okay.
it's interesting because
They were
like you'll watch this
interceptions.
You'll watch this Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers on Monday night in the national semifinal game, and I watched him in college, in high school, and always liked him. And the one thing in college with him, and it's because he doesn't want to turn the ball over. He seems to be more tentative than what he was in high school when he threw with a lot more confidence. And what Jackson Arnold does, he throws with confidence right now. Now he's got to get the turnovers eliminated. But I like that. You know, it kind of goes back to Andy Dalton. Was a guy that he always took care of the football, and you see it with Dak Prescott early on in his career. He was a guy that. Only 4 picks his rookie year. And then as he progressed, he got more bold with his throws, and it was almost his nature not to be aggressive. And it became, now it's his nature to be more aggressive. Well, that's what this kid, his nature, his DNA is to be aggressive, and they've got to coach that out of him a little bit.
Don't doubt our ability to scout.
That's exactly right.
All righty.
That's right.
We're pretty good in my family as well.
Yep.
All right, we know talent.
Well, you should have watched last
Troy
night,
Aikman's first game in college at OU against Kansas. I think he threw 3 or 4 picks.
Okay, now we're getting carried away here.
Same type deal.
Y'all just stop. Nice,
Anyway,
Troy.
The ball spins. It's amazing how you can see the ball spin.
Speaking of Troy, yesterday
That's right. You saw Troy yesterday,
Yes,
right?
Oh, I forgot about that.
We shot a little commercial with him for the game tomorrow, and it was so fun. He was just having a ball doing the commercial for us.
He's excited about
Yeah.
Saturday night.
He's very excited, extremely excited. I'm excited to hear.
Which
Yeah,
means
call
everybody
the game.
should tune in by 7 o'clock when they come on the air, right? Because he'll be on the
On
air.
their
Exactly.
little
Pregame.
countdown to
Yeah.
kickoff show.
Do we get a preview of what the commercial is?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a little tribute to Jimmy Johnson and his Hawaiian shirts that he used to wear. So
Good.
I won't go into it any further, but you can look out for some Hawaiian shirts and Troy Aikman.
That's good stuff.
And a special guest.
Okay.
And a special guest.
Special guest.
She slipped that in.
Interesting.
You think
Yes.
Jerry will
It
show
should
up with
air
her Hawaiian
during
shirt?
the
where are we
second
gonna see
quarter,
this? Okay.
second quarter on ESPN.
Okay.
It'll be a preview going into the halftime because
Okay,
they're going to broadcast
Right. It's like
the
promoting
Ring
the
of
halftime.
Honor
So
ceremony.
a special guest.
Yeah.
Is this someone who's connected with the Cowboys organization who is the special guest?
Correct.
Okay. Interesting.
Don't look over here.
But when we make our pick, it wasn't Everson.
Don't look over here.
We know it wasn't Everson.
Just so you know, just to cancel myself out.
Yeah, I'll let you guys think on it.
can
We
ponder.
And maybe at the end of the show, when we make our picks to click, we'll also guess who the special guest might have been.
Interesting. That's good.
Yeah.
I like
That's
that.
a good
Right,
one.
that's a tease.
Yeah,
That's what we
that's
call
a
a
good one. I
tease.
like that.
I've
All
got an
right.
idea. I don't know if they'd have the nerve to do it, but yeah, okay.
Oh,
guys
yeah,
are
I
just
like that
stirring
idea.
here.
I just had that same idea. It popped into my mind. So you'll have to wait till the end of the show. We'll probably have the same idea.
And the game will be on ABC too,
Channel 8
right?
locally.
Channel 8
Yeah.
locally too for
Yeah.
everybody.
For everybody that
needs to
can
know.
get it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
Are
still
they
going on?
That's
It's still going on.
See, I haven't made the switch to DirecTV.
Well, don't do
You-
it
because
now.
you're blessed.
I was going
You should
to. I
feel
was going
blessed.
to because they have Bally Sports and I don't have Bally Sports. And then I started seeing that crawl about ESPN and ABC
And
not being
Spectrum, if I'm not mistaken.
on. Okay, and so
Yeah.
that's still going on.
Still going on.
Wow.
So
Yes.
since we get
No
it,
wonder you didn't get to see the Oklahoma quarterback
Very
last
good.
night, and the boldness with which he threw the ball,
since we get
and the boldness with which he threw his 4 interceptions.
Oh, no.
I thought it was pretty funny. So since we get it, one of the advertisements is get DirecTV.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him about my bill too. Well, my
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There sounds like there's some confidence that a perennial Pro Bowl left tackle will be able to play tomorrow night.
Yes. I think that was starting a couple days ago, and Jerry basically said, "I feel good. I feel."
This is the latest from this morning from Jerry?
Yes, I feel good. I feel good about it. They're feeling good across the board, meaning Tyron Smith being able to start tonight.
That's great.
That's a level of relief. So he didn't say it, but so now remember yesterday. Now, after the show, of course, Everson, on the injury report, they ruled Rico Dowdle out.
Oh, damn.
So, you've got Tony Pollard, Deuce Vaughn, and
Don't say his name. Don't say his name.
Hunter Lipke.
No.
Everson's still upset.
Don't say his name.
He's upset
you can
because
say it. Bill can't say
I
it.
can't
That's
say it.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can say it.
So those will be your 3 running backs. And I think there's some consideration to
Play
so
C.D. Lamb in the backfield, too.
well, you can also do that. Don't forget that. And
then that's going to happen.
If they have,
I like that run, the 9-yard run the other day.
He looked like a running back.
If they have an elevation, it likely will be a linebacker. So
same linebacker that I mentioned yesterday.
I believe you
Buddy
did.
Johnson.
Yes. I think
Dallas ISD product.
it's the only
Buddy
linebacker that
Johnson.
has elevations available.
That's
too,
right.
by
Yeah.
the way.
So it's easy to figure this out.
But they don't have to do any roster moves until tomorrow.
Oh, really?
So if they,
so it's not the day before the game.
It's basically
they can do it on a
has to
Saturday
be
game. They can do it
4 hours before kickoff.
They treat it like a Thursday game.
Right, exactly. Okay. So they can wait till 3 o'clock tomorrow to announce any moves.
So what's the injury?
Because the deal is, if Malik Davis is out of elevations, and if you say, okay, we're signing him to 53, then you got to cut somebody. And at this time, if you cut somebody, and they know they've been on your roster for 16 weeks, somebody's going to claim them, right? Because the teams that are out of it, they're already looking to next year. So they would claim somebody, and all they have to do is put them
a
on
young player.
Yeah.
Not a Rashawn Evans.
Right. I was going to say, I thought there was a rule that you can't cut anybody and this late and just claim them. I mean, get through waivers without having to go through a claim process. I thought
there's a certain point everybody goes through.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, and once you reach December, basically, there is a week
because you can't have a buddy system like, hey, you're not.
No, everybody basically after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And maybe after the trade deadline, but it's after at some point late in the season.
Right.
Everybody goes through the waiver process.
Can't say, hey, do me a square here, just cut that guy. And
Same reason they do that in fantasy football too, where they have a trade deadline, whatever. So you don't.
The losers can't help somebody out. A little under the table action.
You can't vulture teams. So, okay.
So that's kind of the update on the roster stuff. Obviously, Jonathan Hankins, we knew he was going to be out, so he's still out. I think I know the offensive lineman from Detroit we talked about.
Taylor Decker?
Yeah, he looks like he's playing. So they're only putting down C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who has been
and he's been out. He's only played 2 games for him this year.
So their offensive line is totally intact?
Yes.
And we know the record. Remember what their record is when their offensive line is totally intact.
Undefeated.
Yep, they're like 7-0 this year. So there's a first time for everything.
That's right. Like going 8-0 at home for the first time in 40-some years.
Oh, there you go.
Since 1980 and 1981.
81.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
I think you were a part of that, Everson.
I think I was. Yeah, it was fun.
Get any interceptions out of here?
I'm pretty sure I did.
80 and 81, they went 8-0 at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, can we talk about how fun it was yesterday when we got out of the studio and all the Duncanville kids were
that
out
was
here?
Good stuff, man.
And Bill made an introduction for Everson. Do you guys know
Bill
who
became
this
the
is?
MC.
Does everyone know who this
I
is?
decided, you know what? These are the Duncanville kids. They're 2-time state champion Duncanville Panthers.
Yeah,
There's
man.
probably about 20 members of the team that were on a tour here.
Good-looking kids, too,
And
man.
big kids.
Yeah.
Can you believe how big those high school kids
Did you see the
are?
sophomore wide receiver I was talking to?
He was a sophomore?
Yes, he was 2 inches tall.
This is hilarious. This is hilarious. And so what Savannah is alluding to is, okay, so Nate in Frisco and Everson are there. We just happen to be coming out of the studio, and if you made the tour here, our studios are right behind the mannequins on the Nike Star Walk there, and so the Duncanville football team is out there looking at the mannequins, and so then
they're ranking on the funny-looking jerseys and the funny-looking shoes that we wore throughout the period.
All
and
the
so I just
generations of the
decided these kids have no idea the greatness that they are rubbing elbows with right now.
And they were shaking hands with all of them and dapping them up, right?
Right.
They had no idea.
They had no idea.
I'm happy to meet those guys.
Right.
We were having too much
And
fun.
so I just decided I'm going to take control of this situation. We need to educate the youth of America what they are coming in contact with here. And
I don't think we would have even said who we were You know,
no, there was no.
Because we were giving them all the love and the flowers.
I mean, the only former Cowboy who would announce that who he is would be Drew Pearson. We would tell him that. But so I got up and said, okay, this is future Pro Football Hall of Famer Everson Walls and Nate Newton.
Pro Bowler Nate Newton, 3-time Super Bowl.
Yeah, but what was funny, that sophomore wide receiver, so Everson starts talking trash with him and said he can take him. And so that sophomore, he was kind of a soft-spoken kid, but he kind of under his breath, he said, not with those shoes on.
You caught that?
I did.
I was wondering if you caught that.
That was good.
Said, hey, I was going to wear those shoes today. I was like, nope, not wearing those shoes today.
They were like,
I looked down to see what you had.
Hey, when you're walking around like those guys with Air Jordans on, every one of them had on Air Jordans.
He had some Adidas slippers on.
Right, I was just chilling right with you in the podcast studio.
Not with those shoes.
I saw one
that
kid.
Just shows you this generation, they are so into whatever
That's
you're
right.
wearing.
That's right. That's
and
right.
they notice it.
That's
I mean,
right.
you walk in here every day. I have no idea what your shoes look like, but they're looking at it. That's why Oregon does so well in recruiting.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, just because of the gear.
That's right, exactly. That's why all these colleges across America had they got to take down certain sponsor sign. Oh no, they won't wear that, but they will wear this, and so we got to be a Jordan school now and whatever.
The young kid, he was like 12 years old. He's walking around with some Air Jordans on. I'm like, man, look at you. What, you the manager or something for these guys? Like, what is going on?
Maybe they got NIL in high school.
They got NIL at
wasn't even
Duncanville.
in high school. This kid was in middle school, man.
You know what I meant?
They were dressed really nice. They look good.
I was looking.
They had their medals on from,
Yes,
from
they
the
did.
state championship too.
They didn't miss that.
Oh no, gotta wear that around here.
I missed the head coach. He wasn't with
No,
them.
he wasn't.
No,
with
he
the
wasn't.
Reginald Samples.
A legend.
And see, I don't think they were there, but I spoke at their banquet when they lost to North Shore.
Okay.
And
On
of
the
course, I
Hail
brought
Mary.
up the catch and everything. I let them know about that. I think I mentioned that once before. I don't think those kids were there because this was...
No, that would have been about 2019, I think.
Right. So they were already gone. But yeah, I spoke at their banquet and everything. And the coach was not there. I wish he would have been.
I think somebody said he was still having... if you watch him walk, he's got a hip issue.
Of course he does. Yes, he does.
Going
yes,
on
he
or
does.
Not. But because I asked, I said, "Where's Reginald?" And it's like, "No, he didn't make the trip."
There's
a lot of
star
walking.
running back.
There's a lot of walking
either.
around here as well. So you probably want to.
Caden Durham is their star running back. He's going to LSU.
Oh no, it was like that was such a cool moment yesterday.
So much fun.
That was.
I think me and Nate had more fun than they did, man. It was crazy.
Yep.
Back-to-back champs.
Yep, that's right. And shout out to the DeSoto Eagles and the Golden Bears of South Oak Cliff as well.
Yeah.
And the success that they've had lately. All right, we continue with more mixed shots in just a moment.
That was good stuff.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Did you know that responding to one spam call can lead to more? Or that the IRS would never ask for your social security number on the phone? Beat scammers at their own game by subscribing to AARP Fraud Watch Network alerts and texts. At aarp.org/beatscammerstx, You can sign up to receive information that helps you recognize and avoid the latest scams. That's aarp.org/beatscammerstx.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys.
I almost went.
What would you have said?
Just what you did.
Okay, just to pull back the curtain. Okay, as we come out of break, see, Mickey, they don't hear what Producer Supreme says, and Producer Supreme, Chris Beam, as we come out of break, he will say, "Go Savannah," or whoever's going to talk first, "Go Bill," whatever. And this time, he accidentally said, "Go Mickey."
Well, his mouth was open at the time. I look at the screen, his mouth was open.
So he said, "Go Mick," but Savannah read anyway, and so that's why Mickey said, "I was about to go."
Well, his mouth was half open.
It's all good.
All right, it's all yours, Savannah.
All right. Well, questions are coming in to the text line. And with Jimmy Johnson being inducted into the Cowboys Ring of Honor this weekend, we have a Jimmy question. In Jimmy's rookie year, does anyone remember who the player was who was sent to the asthma field?
His rookie year as an NFL head coach in 1989.
Everson had to be there.
I was there. I just don't know the guy's name.
The asthma field is over there.
I know what position he played. That's all.
So, because there were 3 practice fields at the time, outdoor practice fields, and they were on, I think, number 1, and he pointed to number 3. The asthma field.
Yeah. The asthma field is over there.
So my memory, and I don't know if I've got the first name right, but I want to say it was Massimo Manca. Massimo Manca?
Oh, I don't know about that. I thought it was Zendejas or something.
No.
It wasn't a Zendejas.
No, it wasn't that. No,
it was a kicker that was going to get cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was tired, and when Jimmy started yelling at him, he goes, "Coach, I've got asthma." And that's what he told him. The asthma field's over there.
Asthma bye.
And the guy really had asthma, dude.
And I
thought that was so messed up, man.
And I believe it was
like, who is this guy?
It was like a rookie camp or a.
No, that was like our.
It was
your what am I trying to think of?
OTA.
Quarterback school.
Quarterback school, OTA.
And we were all there. That was our first conditioning practice with Jimmy.
And everybody was in the end zone because you guys were running, I believe.
Yeah, we were doing 110s.
Right.
And what you do is you run down a certain time and then you walk back.
Right.
You run down, you walk back.
And each position had a different time.
Each position had a different time. Yeah, exactly. So I think he was with the DBs.
Probably so.
Yeah, because he was smaller.
Yeah.
But he's a kicker. He's a kicker, man. The dude was just out here. He didn't know what to expect. And, let's think about Jimmy. I mean, we can talk about Jimmy, about how motivational he is and all that. He's a damn bully, man. He bullied this little kid. And what he did was.
But he sent a message to everybody else.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. But damn, this kid is just trying to come.
I know.
Like, hey, man, I didn't come here to be a message. I just came here to try to play some
guys.
Let's count the guys that were the message players for Jimmy. Yeah. John Roper, who fell asleep in a team meeting.
Okay. And by the way, it was a team meeting. He's in the back row. He fell asleep, and when they got up and they were going to go wake him up, Jimmy was like. And the next thing the kid knows is whatchamacallit, Jimmy's.
And what happened with him? What
Bruce
happened
Mays.
with that kid?
Bruce Mays came in and said, Jimmy wants to see you, bring your playbook.
What happened to that kid?
Well, he was a veteran, and he wasn't playing.
Okay.
And he wasn't going to play.
And he never did anything else.
Yeah.
No, and so he was released, and
got the message.
And the famous line that Jimmy's always used when telling that story since then is, you've got it, about Emmett or Michael. Now, if it's Emmett
yeah.
or Michael who fall asleep in a team meeting, he'll go find a pillow for
Which
him.
I'm sure they did. I don't know about Emmett, but I'm sure Mike fell asleep many times.
Go get me a pillow.
And then the poor running back,
Curvin Richards.
I know, that's so sad too, man.
So Curvin Richards, late in the season.
He'll never feel the same about
I
Christmas.
love hearing all that.
He'll never feel the same about Christmas. He let him go. He fumbled the ball
against
it
Chicago.
was the final game of the regular season.
Which didn't mean anything.
The game was in hand. It was trash time. And he fumbled once or maybe twice. It may have been once.
I think it was just once. Don't
end.
give Jimmy any don't do that. Don't do that.
It's
at the end of the
so
game.
he cut
do that.
Curvin Richards to send a message to the team, basically.
But this is serious
But wait,
business.
so they cut him?
They cut him.
Yes, they cut him.
They cut him.
After he fumbled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, after the game.
No, it was right. I thought it was the next series.
No.
After the game, yeah.
Let's not add to the legend.
Yeah, let's not add to that.
Oh,
No, but so it's Christmas time. This kid doesn't have a job now. What did he end up doing? Where did he go?
Oh, nothing.
See?
And it was the
He's getting rid of guys who aren't even going to find jobs anywhere.
Well,
he had a good read, you know.
But he was
knew
on
what
the
he was
team
doing.
at the end of the season, so he must have been something. He was on the team at the end of the season.
He played behind Emmett. Emmett didn't come off the field. I mean, they had games. They literally had games, stretches of the season where they had one running back and two fullbacks on their roster, and that was it. They had Emmett, Daryl Johnston, and Tommy Agee, who was a backup fullback, basically. And if Emmett needed a break or it was a blowout game, Tommy Agee got the carries.
That's true.
So Curvin Richards, 49 carries, 176 yards, and 1 touchdown. And this was game 16. They're going to the playoffs, going to win a Super Bowl. And he sent a message to him that we ain't all that if we make mistakes like that. 13-3.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of BS.
Curvin Richards.
That's coaches, man.
How about
that's
this?
coaches.
He wound up with Detroit, Curvin
Yes.
did.
Oh,
Guess
okay.
who was the third leading rusher that year? Take a guess.
On
the Cowboys.
And what year was this?
This was 92?
Yeah.
92, third leading rusher.
My boy, my cousin?
I bet it
Lincoln
was Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman, 37 carries
105
for
yards.
105 yards.
Wow.
And
Third
1
leading
touchdown.
rusher?
So DJ wasn't DJ yet, right? 17 carries for 61 yards. But he caught 32 passes for 249 and 2 touchdowns.
How about that running back by committee? Emmett had 1,713 yards and Curvin had 176.
By committee.
Running back by
I don't know if
committee.
that's by committee. I don't know about that.
Daryl Johnston had 61 yards and Tommy Agee had 54.
And Michael Irvin had 1 carry for minus 9 yards.
Don't give me the ball again, Coach. Not behind the line.
That's funny.
So speaking of Michael Irvin, this will be a big game for him. They're going to have 23 former players at the game, 13 Ring of Honor guys at the game, 3 assistant coaches. Obviously, Campo's one. I think I saw Butch Davis's name. And Michael Irvin will have a chance, I would think, to see his single-season reception record broken.
Oh, yeah.
Because CD needs 3 catches.
Does Michael want to see that happen?
Yes, he does. he's CD's biggest cheerleader.
That's true.
And somebody asked him.
I saw him on TV. He was
Michael?
on a talk show. He was on a talk show.
Yeah.
And they were talking about that.
They asked
Late
CD
night talk
if
show.
Michael had called him yet about the thing this week. He goes, not yet, just like that, right? And then they asked him, he goes, oh, Mike's, we talk all the time. When I was a rookie, he explained to me the importance of number 88 and what the process is like and everything. And they asked him, when they asked him, it was pretty funny because they started with, what will it mean to you if you break his record? And he goes, not much. If we win the game, okay.
Yeah.
And it was a really good answer. But he talked about how much Michael's meant to him. And so they said, you think you'll call him? And he goes, well, I'm sure I will. And somebody says, well, he's going to be there. He goes, oh, we can celebrate together.
There you
Shout
go.
out to Mike.
There you go.
Sort of the way you've kind of looked at your interception mark, right? You're cheering for the next guy.
You know, it's anytime it's about ego, you know, we all still out here about egos. And so when your name's brought up in regards to a greatness like that, then, yeah, it's something
it's like you're reminded, oh, that guy was here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's right. Everyone's reminded about the legacy. It's not just me or it's the legacy that's here, you know, as a Cowboy. So, you know, we celebrate anybody else's record that's about to be broken because it does remind us of what we went through, and it reminds us of the love that we had and the teammates that we played with.
And it's like when they went back to the Super Bowl in '92, so 31 years ago. It brought up all the guys from the 70s, and they thought, oh, it was great. That this is reminding everybody of what we did.
That's right.
So I was looking at this game. I was writing about it for tonight. It's almost a very historical game. What's happening now, but what happened previously for all the people who had no idea who Jimmy Johnson
and all the three Super Bowls, how we got those 3 Super Bowls in the 90s, right?
And I was talking to the guys on the fan, and I said, think about this. When do you think your sports? At what age does sports consciousness hit? And I said maybe 10, something like that.
6.
6?
It was 6
well,
for
mine
Bill.
was 6, but I'm saying most people, right? Not nerds like us, right? So you got to be 40 years old to probably have a decent memory of what took place in 1992 and 93. And so there'll be people in the stands, less than 40, and they don't know what Jimmy Johnson has done. Just like these kids didn't know who you were or Nate was, right?
That's right.
But it's cool to, it's almost like a history lesson Saturday
And it's
night.
not that
it brings
it's
it
not
all
that
back
no one
together. It ties a bow.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And
now
it brings
and then.
up that. Yep,
exactly.
That's true.
So it's got to be a cool night now. You just got to win.
You got to win. And then, hopefully it will inspire this team alone to say, okay, all of this greatness is here. Guys from the 90s, maybe we could be inspired to go ahead and play above our heads sometimes.
Yeah,
play above our heads. That's the thing about sports. You can say, well, I'm supposed to play like this or like that. But there are going to be times, like Dak showed last week, to where you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. He was about to get sacked, we talked about last week, and he somehow escaped and made this great throw. All throws are not going to be comfortable. You know what I mean? Just like all games are not going to be comfortable. You're going to have to come out of your bag, and do something, that's, not comfortable. Do something that's going to take a lot of sacrifice. That's sports.
Jerry said this morning, he said, we have all the incentive in the world to let it hang out, so to speak. Do whatever it takes to win the game.
So, whatever. That means that's what I mean. You got to come out of your comfort zone and do what you got to do.
And, Detroit's got history, too.
Yeah.
We talked about it the last time they won a division title. Now they're trying to win 12 games in a single season for the first time. And
they got a coach
they have a lot on the line as well.
Yeah, because they're looking at that number 2 seed, right? If Eagles falter and they keep winning, you never know what San Francisco does, right?
Coach Campbell always talked about last year. He talked about how we'll be back, And so this guy he's on a mission himself, as a coach. And so this team believes in him. And that's why when I looked at the schedule, first time we got it, this is the game that I looked at right here. And I've been saying it all month, basically.
So we should add another pick for the next segment. Pick the key to the game, to winning.
Okay.
What do you think?
All right.
Hey, it's my show.
Easy.
We've done well. We're doing
Key to victory. So wait a second.
Easy.
So we're going to pick who's going to win.
Yes.
We're going to
Who's
pick
going to be the
clip,
special guest?
and then
right.
the key to victory, and who's the special guest on the ESPN promo that's going to air in the second quarter. There probably is a pod pick too. We'll have all of that for you when Mick Shots continues in just a moment.
In 17 minutes.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Did you know that responding to one spam call can lead to more? Or that the IRS would never ask for your social security number on the phone? Beat scammers at their own game by subscribing to AARP Fraud Watch Network alerts and texts. At aarp.org/beatscammerstx, you can sign up to receive information that helps you recognize and avoid the latest scams. That's aarp.org/beatscammerstx.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
Get the coverage you need this football season with Dallas Cowboys cold weather gear. Visit the nearest pro shop or log on to shop.dallascowboys.com, a Fanatics experience, and score knit hats, hoodies, jackets, and more.
I bought a knit hat yesterday. Cowboy knit
It's
hat.
a little chilly outside.
Yeah, my
I
daughter,
bought a little cowboy football yesterday. A little for grandkids, whatever, or like a soft football, whatever.
I met my daughter at the
At the pro shop,
yeah,
right?
Sure
Yeah.
did. Yeah, sure did.
All right, we got so much to get to here in this final segment of the year. By the way,
Yes,
what are we doing Monday? It's New Year's Day.
Chris.
There is no show.
No show Monday. I figured there may not be, and so
Good thing.
So
So
we
I
got-
would have showed up.
I would not
I was
have.
planning on
I
that.
promise you, I was not.
all right, so this is our final show of the year and our final show until Tuesday of next week. So we got tons to get to here.
Hopefully, you don't have to pick a New Year's resolution either tonight
Yeah.
or today.
No, we're not doing that.
We're
Okay.
definitely not doing that.
All right. We'll start with
Might all last one
Let's
day.
start with your key to victory.
My key to victory.
Okay, we'll go around the horn. Key to victory.
This is going to sound very redundant, but stopping the run against a team that averages 141 yards a game and has, in the last 8 games, rushed for at least 115 yards. In a couple of the games, they've gone over 200. So to be able to control Jared Goff, they better stop the run, and then that would allow them to get pressure on the quarterback.
All right, I like it. Everson, you want to go next?
I'll go next. I was going to say that,
Say it again.
but
Double
the
down.
reason that they're able to run the ball mostly, I believe, is because they are ahead in the ball game, or at least even. I say that we need to get off fast. That's what I say. We need to start fast.
Win the coin toss.
Win the coin toss. We need to go down there and score. We need to keep the pressure on them offensively so that they won't be comfortable in running the ball. They still may run it because we're so far that bad at playing against it, and they're that good at running it. But I think they'll be less likely to run if they're down by 2 scores.
So hold on to the football as you're running into the end zone
Yes.
this time on that first
Novel
drive.
idea.
I am not saying anything, William. I'm going to lighten up now. I'm good.
Or expect that he's going to give you the ball, that it's not a fake.
There you go. So
I
All
don't
right.
think they'll tell him next time.
You're getting it.
Right?
My 2 things were win the coin toss, get
Very
the
good.
ball first, and then score in the red zone. Actually,
Nice.
when you have the ball, put it across the end zone, as we talked about. Just make sure you get into the end zone
That's
at
a
the
good
end of
one.
the day. You don't want to just be behind because you can't get over that line.
Don't celebrate red, celebrate end
There you go.
zone.
I got you.
Okay. Gotcha. Very
We
good.
Make sure I was
Bill, yours?
specific.
It's a combination, all of the above. But I will throw this in there. You know, we don't talk as much about the Lions' defense. They, outside of Aiden Hutchinson, who was the second pick in the draft last year, and he's quote unquote only has 6.5 sacks this year. We look too much at sacks a lot of times. Among all NFL players this year, Aiden Hutchinson ranks second in quarterback hits, second in quarterback hurries, and third in total quarterback pressures with 87. And so it's not like, even though he only has 6.5 sacks, it's not like he's not making an impact. Another guy that I want to mention from the Lions on their defense, and basically what I'm getting at is a key is protecting Dak and having time to throw, whatever. Ife Melifonwu, safety for the Lions. His last two games. In fact, he was
to say it.
he was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week this week for what he did last week against Minnesota.
Right.
He is the first defensive back in franchise history to produce a game with 2 sacks and an interception, which is what he had last year. And in the last 2 games, he's the only DB in the NFL since at least 1999, when they started tracking this, to accumulate 4 passes defense, 3 sacks, and an interception in a 2-game span.
Wow.
Ife Melifonwu.
We'll keep an eye on him. What number is he?
6, I think.
All right.
Good stuff.
All right.
I think Bill just wanted to say his name.
Yeah. Ife Melifonwu.
Well, they better make him Iffy.
And he does wear number 6.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next on our agenda, you're going to do the pod pick?
Yeah, let's do the pod
That's good. Let's get the
All right,
pod pick.
pod pick.
Pod pick.
Great.
Here's the question this week. Who scores the first touchdown of the game? Either team.
Ferguson.
Jacob Ferguson, says Everson Walls.
I was just going to say the same thing, so I'll have to go
Jacob
somewhere
Ferguson,
else.
says Savannah.
Take their tight end. I'm taking, with the third catch of the game, C.D. Lamb.
That would be kind of cool.
Third catch of the game.
That
I
would
like
be
it.
very cool.
He was thinking that already.
Okay. And I will go.
You just wanted to intercept him. Is that what you wanted to do?
Well, you gave me the.
You know who's going to score the first touchdown of the game?
Laporta.
Hunter Lipke. Just for you, Everson. Hunter Lipke.
Oh,
that's a good choice. I must admit, that's a good choice.
All right.
Because he would have had the first one last week.
Man, I know, bro.
Just grab the ball.
Jeez.
Okay, so now
He's so
our
excited.
regular picks. We're going to save the yours for the end.
Okay.
Who the guest, the celebrity guest was, or whoever it is.
Oh, so we're going to find that out today?
No, you guys will have to
You're gonna find out in the
watching
second
the
quarter.
commercial.
Yeah.
All right.
pay
So
Savannah.
I can't. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I can't even.
So for the game, okay, our regular pick to click and pick for the game.
All right, I got myself. I have the Cowboys in a tough game, 28-24. I have us winning it. And my guy, I haven't picked him in a while, and he's been balling all year long. He's almost like a Michael Parsons exemption, but I'm going with him this week. I think Dak is going to have 3 touchdowns. I won't say if it's all passing. I'll just say 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
Dak, your click to pick. And what was the score?
28-24, Cowboys.
All right.
28-24. Okay,
All right.
Savannah.
Back at home field advantage. Would love to see a win to mark this as undefeated at home this season. And I'm going with a high-scoring game, 42-30 Cowboys. And if we get over a 30-point mark on Saturday, we will still hold the most 30-point games at home in NFL history. So let's go over 30 points, 42-30. And Deron Bland is my click to pick.
Here we go.
So you're looking at knockdowns. You're looking at a pick. What's up?
I'm looking at at least one interception from him. I think his time is overdue. It's been a few weeks, few
Yes.
games.
I agree.
Golly, needs 3 more.
Yeah, we talked about that outside yesterday. The guy still got a chance, people. He still has a chance.
Okay, I've got, and I like Savannah's 30-point deal, so I'm going to pick the Cowboys 30-22. And my pick to click will be CeeDee Lamb. He will break the record. He will score 2 touchdowns, and there'll be a celebration on the field with Michael Irvin. You think they'll bring him down on the field?
Please don't. We'll be out there all day, bro. We'll be out there all day.
They brought DJ down when Emmett set the record.
Okay, you may find this surprising, but I'm going to hearken back to the Jimmy Johnson days of the Cowboys for my pick here. And you mentioned Michael Irvin. Remember the one time that, well, it was more than one time, but the one time that we all remember when Michael Irvin was late for the plane to Detroit. Was it?
Yes.
It was to Detroit. And what happened there?
He had to sit out the first series.
Was that the regular season game or
Yeah.
playoff game? Okay, regular season game at Detroit.
And Norv Turner asked Jimmy when he told him that he's being punished and has to sit out the first series. Norv asked Jimmy, if they get the ball first, is that the first series?
Does that count as one series?
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Fair question.
He's a pussycat. Yeah. He's a pussycat.
So,
yes.
But what we do remember when the Cowboys played the Lions in that 1991 season and was a trip to Detroit that was a 34-10 Lions win.
And Eric Kramer put it on them.
And a playoff game that was started by Steve Berline. And as chummy as Troy Aikman and Jimmy Johnson are now, they were not chummy after that game because Troy was able to play and yet did not start the game. Steve Berline started. Aikman came in at halftime, and the final score was 38-6. So in honor of those two games, here is my pick for the game. And I noticed in the looking at the box score from the regular season game, a 34-10 Detroit win, Ray Crockett out of Duncanville High School. Ray Crockett for the Lions had a 96-yard interception return for a touchdown.
So
my pick to click. Savannah, can I take Deron Bland as well?
Yes.
Deron Bland, 96-yard interception return for a touchdown. And Jimmy gets revenge for his losses to the Detroit Lions with a Cowboys 38-6 win over the Lions.
Right.
The same score as that Eric Kramer playoff win. And Troy and Jimmy will hug and everything. They'll live life happily ever after, which they've been doing for the last 30 years.
So who's your guy?
Deron Bland is my pick to click, and the final score is 38-6 to avenge the Eric Kramer 38-6 playoff loss.
All right.
You like it?
Jeez.
You don't like it.
The 6 I'm a little worried about. Is that two
Another
field
blowout.
goals or a missed extra point?
They'll go for 2.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and
What was
who's
the
the
last one?
celebrity? Who was the celebrity that crashed
The celebrity might have just walked in this room.
There's a celebrity right here. Nate
That's a good one.
Somebody should
Nate
take
from
them.
Frisco.
Nate from Frisco.
All right, so what are you thinking on the celebrity who crashed the taping of the? Now, tell the story again for those.
So Troy Aikman, we did a commercial shoot with him yesterday for ESPN. The commercial will air during the second quarter, right before Jimmy's ceremony, which they are airing. And we did a little shoot with Troy and a special guest. And they're wearing Hawaiian shirts for Jimmy Johnson. So
I know
special
who it is.
guest.
I know who it is.
Who?
DJ.
Okay.
Okay.
I know what my first thought is.
Did they
but
have
I
a
can't
message?
believe-
Did they have a message for Jimmy in the? Okay.
No.
See, that kind of destroys what I was going with. I was going with Barry Switzer as the special
I'll
guest.
write that down.
That
Bill.
was the first thing that popped in my head, thinking he
doesn't have it up.
recruited him to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
No, that was. Who you think?
Well, I'm changing mine, depending on what you say.
I'm going to say Norv Turner.
All right.
He came into my mind too.
He did. introduced him for his Hall of Fame, by the way.
All right,
But
guys.
since it was taped in the building.
And you're not going to guess because you know.
I'll keep this all in my thoughts, and you guys can see what happens.
My
in
other
the
one
second
is
quarter.
Jerry. Jerry is my other one.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Nate, you got one?
No, I just want to come in and say it was 16 110s. We were doing the conditioning test.
Yes.
Because I remember that because I went to Jimmy before we did that and said, man, you can cut me now because I'm not going to make it.
Do you remember the name of the kicker who went to the Asma field?
I don't know. I really don't care.
We had to make it in 17 seconds.
Yeah.
Remember? 17 seconds.
Yeah, so he was going. I just pulled him to the side about an hour before we was getting ready to go. I said, Coach, could I speak with you? And he said, yeah. And I said, hey, man, you can cut me now. We can see because I wasn't finna get embarrassed in front of the media.
Right.
You want
Yeah, because it was open.
Example at me, I was gonna beat him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't a violent
Well, you didn't
man.
know him at that time.
Yeah, I didn't know him. Yeah. I was
So do you think Jimmy knew that there were TV cameras rolling at the time when he said the Asma field?
Yes.
Come on, man.
He was always aware of his environment.
Which is another great story of a press conference. It was a Monday. What? Yes, Mickey.
Massimo Manca, 1989.
Okay.
The Cowboys.
All right, very good. You got the
It was
answer to
another
that.
guy who we was over in Japan or somewhere, or England or somewhere we was. Gets guys that y'all was talking about, a list of guys that he made another list of a guy where he told him, don't stop running. He wanted this guy. He liked this guy. He said, man, don't stop running. It was a running back. He said, I'm going to run you into this. It's 31, and I don't care what happened. I grabbed the kid. I said, man, don't stop running. Just please, until he blow that whistle, don't stop running. This kid hit it up, boom, boom. Everybody hitting him and tackling the button. And all of a sudden, he just stopped. And I looked at him. And he tried to run back again. I said, don't even worry about it, bro. We never heard from him again. We got back in the country. I guess he took his passport.
93?
93 when you went to London in 93 preseason.
We never saw the kid.
He took his passport.
Took his passport. It's been several. But see, at the time, I didn't agree with nothing Jimmy did. With things with Everson. I thought that was so out of line because I had never seen a coach go at a player. And I thought Everson was gonna punch him. I really did. I like Wall, and then Wall looked at me. I just said, hey, you know what?
I was chasing him.
Yeah, he was chasing him. So Jimmy has made a lot of guys, but Coach Johnson will tell you to this day he can never be that guy again because he looks back and he sees the enemies he's made, the people's lives he affected. Sometimes some of these guys probably never recovered, and then some guys maybe didn't even care.
Yeah. But a lot of coaches can say that though, Nate.
Yeah, but not the way Jimmy took. Jimmy was the beginning of social media. He was the beginning. Yes, he was the beginning of it because Cowboy coaches were always big. But when was Coach Landry ever an icon to the point where he can? Jimmy would have his own meme and everything right about now.
Right.
Coach Landry was so direct and so personable, and everybody thought he was impersonal. But Coach Landry knew each one of us, and he could have a conversation with you. Jimmy didn't care to have a conversation with you. It was just one focus. If he couldn't see you in his focus, making his team better or bowing down to him at that time, you wasn't going to make the team. That's the bottom line now.
I agree.
He was tough.
And so what it does, my show next, so I got y'all covered. This is what I told Nick Eatman yesterday, who does Storyline. And the difference in Coach Johnson now is he's much closer to his family. Mm-hmm. See, because people don't understand, when we were in meetings, this is how focused this man was. He used to, hey, man, I divorced my wife. And we all started laughing, but check the records. He came to the Cowboys. One of the first things he did was divorce his wife. Mm-hmm. He had a way of turning everything to, I did that, I don't want nothing distracting me. So if you're not, if you're not a part of this and you're a distraction, you're not going to be here.
And
it's like, just like his wife. Or his kids coming. I'm serious now.
That's crazy.
It's funny, but this man talking to us of 100 players or more. And then he told us one time, hey, my mom and dad in town. I'll see them after we get through whoever was playing, I'll see them afterwards. And it was the truth. He told his mom that, hey, y'all do what you do, have fun. I'll see y'all after this victory. He expected us to do our families like that too. His kids will come in town. Hey, my son's in town, but I ain't got time today. But now all of this focus, all of this neglect, now it comes back around. And you see Coach Johnson, and you know the history on his kid. I'm not going to, that ain't, if you don't know it, so be it. But he's put a lot into his kids, into his sons. Yeah. His mom and dad probably gone now, but he changed the way he acted. And I'm probably if he see his ex-wife, he'll probably, it's different with her. He talked to guys with a different affection now.
When his mom passed away, that is what changed him.
Yes.
And he is a totally different person now than what he was like as a football coach.
From a sentimental level, yes.
Right. And
and you know what? I can confirm everything Nate just said.
See, people, that's why I tell people, when I first met Everson, I ain't want nothing to do with him. He was controversial. He was for what he thought was right. He did not back down. And now that is the very thing that makes me respect him. You see, as you mature as a man and a woman, you learn, you get better. You don't get worse.
Hopefully.
Yeah, you hopefully. And but hey, that's just my story on Coach Johnson.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I wish you would have come in earlier. This show would have been a whole heck of a lot better.
But it got so good, Chris let us go 10 more minutes.
Anything for Chris. Good stuff, Chris.
All right, that does it for Mick Shots for another year. And we'll see if we're back next year here on Mick Shots on Tuesday.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!